And good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode number 80 of the Washington Wrestle Talk podcast. I am your host, Mike, the oddity, of course. I just actually got home from work about 5 minutes ago. Traffic here in Portland kind of sucked. Of course, tonight was the debut of NXT on the USA Network. They only did a 1-hour episode. They announced they weren't going to do 2-hour episodes until the mid-October, which sounds about the time that AEW is going to be on TNT. So it looks like we do have our Wednesday night wars now. So we'll see what happens. A thing of note, they only had about 3 matches on the 1-hour premiere. In a fatal 4-way for the number 1 ship for the NXT Women's title. Candice LeRae defeats Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and Mia Yim to a shot at Shayna Baszler's NXT Women's title. Now, I see where they're going here. Of course, Candice is married to Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling. So, and she is getting her first opportunity, while at the past TakeOver event that they had, she lost to Io Shirai in a very hard-fought match. But I think it's a good thing that we see Candice get the title shot. And then in what could be only described as a blink you miss squash match, Cameron Grimes defeated Sean Mulata, of course, in 8 seconds. Now, for those of you who know who Sean Mulata is, he's a nephew to Alpha of the Wild Samoans. So, he's family to the Usos and Roman Reigns and, all those, Anoa'i family members. 8 seconds. Cameron Grimes, better known as Trevor Lee on the independent circuit. He's kind of taken over the old Bray Wyatt, it looks like, or, a dark carnival type thing. His original gimmick was the Carolina man, long hair, beard, and it freeze up. Thought we just froze up there for a minute. Let's see where they lead with the new crop of NXT members. And of course, in the main event of the USA Network show was a NXT North American Championship match between the challenger, Roderick Strong of the Undisputed Era, and the Velveteen Dream. And an incredibly well played out match. The crowd on their feet and everything. Roderick Strong becomes new NXT North American champion, which now means that the Undisputed Era holds all of the men's NXT titles. Of course, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly are the tag champs. Adam Cole is the NXT champ, and Roddy Strong is the North American champ. And then we go to the WWE Network, and which was hour 2, and then we had Pete Dunne versus Arturo Rua. And of course, that's a conclusion. Pete Dunne wins the match. They had to come down, do one of those come down matches because the crowd was just overly spent in that previous match. They said Lio Rush will make his return and take on Oni Lorcan to determine the number one contender for the Cruiserweight Championship later tonight, which means it's on 205 Live. Dakota Kai returns next NXT, which is good because she's been out with a torn ACL. Xia Li versus Aaliyah. Xia Li is, I believe, the first female Chinese athlete, legitimate Chinese athlete, to be signed by the WWE. And Xia Li defeats Aaliyah with a tornado kick. And we were about to have a match with Kushida versus Denzel DeJournay when Imperium of NXT UK showed up. And Imperium meaning Marcel Barthel, Fabian Eichner, and Alexander Wolf. Now, Marcel Barthel and Fabian Eichner are a tag team in NXT, but they've also been in NXT UK. So they they triple teamed Dejournay, and the crowd's chanting, "Where is Walter?" And then all of a sudden, his music hits, and out comes Walter. And, Kushida's not out yet. And at that point, Kushida comes out, he points at Imperium, and at the time, Kushida gets on the apron, takes Eichner, Barthel, and Alexander. Walter quickly grabbed Kushida, but Kushida got out and drop kicks him. Walter stumbles as Kushida escapes. So we do have a number one contenders match for the Cruiserweight title. It's Oni Lorcan versus Lio Rush. It was on, and Lio Rush won the match and is now the number one contender for the Cruiserweight Championship. Oh, and then there was the street fight between Killian Dane and Matt Riddle, which pretty much was nothing but a brawl, and ended in a no contest. So that kind of defeats the purpose. But it was just a fun brawl to watch. Jesus. Killian Dane. It's coming for everybody. I was hoping to have a guest on tonight. In fact, I got an email from one of my listeners to read to him. The air. Yay. I was actually watching something called Nightmare Expo, or Nexpo for short, and I find enjoyment in shows like that. And that's one of the reasons why I'm on Twitter. I've been posting on Twitter. September 19th, Tilly's. She's got a cat fight that she's producing for Tilly's Town. For $50 you can sponsor this fight for her, and just give Tilly, drop Tilly a line either on Twitter or just contact her anyway. Support her, and because we're here to support everybody. And Tilly on my show one of these days. I think we'd have a blast. Now, also on November 13th, Brutal Beauty's Catfighting League returns. This time, it's in Los Angeles, California. More appropriately, Van Nuys, California. Site is the Hit the Mat Gym, where we have Daisy Ducati taking on London. And if that's not enough to get you, get your appetite for some good catfight action, how about this one? The Brutal Beauties Catfight League champion, Sarah the Queen Brooke, will take on none other than Ariel X. Now, Mark has been posting on Twitter, for sponsors. He's told me he got 3 of them and today is his birthday, and I was hoping to have him on the show tonight, but he probably got a little too busy, because he had some guests, so I think we can forgive him for that one. But contact him and support him. And, while we're at it, I also said, support me. And, I do like sponsors. It would be nice to have sponsors. It's just nice to have people listen. I love getting the feedback from you guys. I love reading your feedback. I love it when you listen to the show. If there's anyone that you want on the show, email me at WashingtonWrestleTalk@gmail.com. Of course, check out the website, WashingtonWrestleTalk.com. And if anybody knows anything about website building, can you drop me a line? I'm having a bit of an issue with it. Of course, that's GoDaddy Site Builder, I guess. Or you can even drop me a DM on my Twitter at Triple R Product, or drop me a line on Instagram. Of course, that Instagram is Washington Wrestle. Get the talk on there for some reason. Now, I want to bring up something that happened either yesterday or early today. One of my friends, Vixen Romano, got a notice on Instagram about content that they deemed inappropriate or something. And she let off on a tirade. And, that's what happens when one company, Instagram, is owned by none other than Facebook. So, yeah, of course they're going to, Facebook and Instagram are going to be doing their little, Facebook jail or Instagram mute or whatever you want to call it. But, is there such a thing as free speech? And, for Vixen Romano, especially in Canada, the same rules would apply there as they do here, because, free speech, fuckers. Let her post whatever she wants. But I'm sure there's going to be some asshole that, didn't get a session with her for whatever reason, and is going to bitch and complain and moan to, the admins of Instagram, Facebook, and try to get her, censored or, put in, quote, jail. And I've seen that all too often with some of these, cat fighters and session girls, and I think it's just ridiculously stupid. More than that, it's fucking stupid. Grow up, guys. Come on now. Do you really need to pull some shit like that? Anyhow, so a brief update on some upcoming guests. I'm hoping to get all 4 of the ladies for the Brutal Beauties cat fight event on the show at some point between now and November. I myself will be in Van Nuys for the event. I might talk to Mark, see if he'll let me be the official MC. And I'm trying to get Vanessa Villano on the show. She wanted to come on tonight, but I didn't really have an answer for her because I thought Mark was going to be on. But I haven't heard from Mark at all today. So you must be having one hell of a birthday. I'm trying to get so many people, and if I'd love to get Nadia Miller on here. I'd love to get Desi Desire. I'd love to get my ultimate one would be to get Vixen Romano or even Mutiny on my show.